forever, forever. I wanna love you. Will you let me love you forever, forever and a day, 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 day.
Happy Friday! Happy Friday to you and to you. You guys, if I look crazy, it's because it's so hot. It's been so hot, like scorching hot. I don't even know what to do with myself. Like if I could just walk around naked and that be acceptable, I would absolutely do that. Guys, welcome to the Melanated Way. I'm your host, Linda Antwi. I'm so used to saying that from AfterBuzz days. Let me just start all over. Welcome to the Melanated Way. We're covering Love in Paradise, Season 2, Episode 8, and it's called I'm Coming Out. And I have a surprise. Guess who's making a debut again? I don't know who sings this song, but I just know it. So it's I'm Coming Out. I want the world to know. That's all I know. And then let it go, I think. I'm coming out. I want the world to know. That's it. That's all I got. But it's called I'm Coming Out. Welcome to the Melanated Way. On this episode, we are covering Love in Paradise. I'm Coming Out. Season 2, Episode 8. I think I want to voice over a book with this. With my book voice. You like it? Oh my God, I'm such a hot mess. Oh, is it Diana Ross? How do I not know that? Is it really Diana Ross, Crystal? Hey, Raydella. Hey, fam. Linda's only fan. Let it be known I called Vanessa. That is 100% an inside Patreon joke, family. All right, anyways, happy Friday. I hope you guys are all having an amazing Friday.
Thanks for using.
Let's jump right into it, shall we? Valentine. It's really Valentine. You know, I'm really bad with names. I just want to throw that out there. I know one of you commented why I say Pedro and Chantel says Pedro, and why does Auntie say Pedro and Chantel says Pedro? Whatever. If you know who I'm talking about, you know, I'll try to get better. I'll say that. I'll try to get better. When you said a surprise, I thought Carlos was gracing us with his presence. Dang. Linda's mic will do. You know, I like to do surprises, mostly on Patreon, though, Crystal. Okay, so Valentine and Carlos. It's Carlos's birthday, so they're going to do a special dinner. And what is so interesting to me, and I want you guys to put this in perspective. So Valentine's been in Colombia for less than a week, right? We find out later it's 5 days. Now, we've all watched 90 Day Fiance UK, and in an hour and a half, those people stayed for a month. So can we put that in perspective? We're in episode 8, and Valentine has only been with Carlos for 5 days. We get episode 1 of 90 Day Fiance UK, and they spent a month, and we got an hour and a half. Can you make that make sense? Anyways, they've been fighting all 5 days, but they're working through their issues. Valentine has planned a special surprise birthday party for Carlos at his favorite restaurant. And it was super cute. He had like this boat cake, and it said in third person, Valentine loves you. And then Valentine was like, you know, how do you say I love you? Happy birthday. And come on out. Come on out. Come on out of the closet. All in one. And I think it's Vamos Aurora. And any of my Latina or Latino friends can correct me, but I think it's Vamos Aurora. And so he's like, this is just the beginning of a relationship. This is just the beginning of a beautiful future. Carlos starts crying because he feels completely loved. And, he's been in the closet for all these years. And what is he turning now, you guys? He was like 28, so must be 29 now or something like that. So, he's now just starting to feel himself and feel loved and appreciated for who he is as a person, right? So then the dancers come out. We only got like 30 seconds of the dancers, but I wanted more of the dancers. Dancers come out with the drummers. And everyone starts dancing. Everyone's having a good time, including Carlos, right? And so we know from the club he wasn't dancing. He was just feeling like uncomfortable. But here he was like dancing, having a good time. A lot of his friends, Ernesto, Victor, and I say her name wrong, Yusenes, were all there. Also, Janner, his cousin, was there to celebrate with him. Oh, thank you, Lori. Don't get Discovery Plus, but live for these reviews. Girl, it's all in the detailed notes. It's all in the detailed notes. So dances are coming out, everyone's having a good time, and Valentine is really, really, really just happy. He's having a moment because they've had so much drama these past 5 days. So tonight just means a lot that Valentine planned this for him, that he loved on him, that he included his friends and all the things. And so tomorrow he's going to come out, and he's going to come out to his sister. And we learn a lot about Carlos in this episode. And, I don't know what that journey is like. I don't know what that strife is like, but I do know that it's got to be hard to feel like you can't live your true, authentic life. You know what I mean? And so, hey, Mandy. Hey, girl. Hey. Amanda says, I'm so glad Carlos got this moment of joy because I think the next part won't go so well. Girl, you are not wrong. You are not wrong. Even through the screen, his sister's vibes were all negative vibes. I was sitting here thinking, oh my God, it's so hot, but it's so beautiful. We're so lucky to, just have this beautiful weather. Can't really complain about anything. There they are in Colombia, living their best lives and, living the island lifestyle. And this woman comes out and just came out guns a-blazing, negative energy, just pew, 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 everywhere. Pew, 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 pew. This girl walked in. Listen, I'm jumping ahead, but yes, Amanda, I feel you. I feel you. So I am so glad that he was able to have the night before because the following day was a hot mess. Pew, 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 pew. So tomorrow's meeting with his sister, and he's reminding everyone that he comes from a small traditional town, and his family can be very small-minded, and that's why his whole life he never came out of the closet. And so this will be the first time he's coming out of the closet to one of his nuclear family members, and not only that, introducing a boyfriend, right? So it's a big deal for him. Tomorrow's going to be a big deal for him. And meanwhile, his cousin Janner, is worried for him. He's like, look how they ostracized me. Look at how they've treated me. And I don't know if your sister's going to welcome you or not. I don't know if you're going to be shunned by her. And I'm worried for you. Because, when I came out, no one in the family was understanding, including Carlos's sister. Which, it's sad, you guys, because we're in 2022 and people are still having to deal with that type of stigma and worry and concern. Like, I just can't imagine having that type of stress and having to live that way because you feel like you're not going to be accepted by your own family, right? So Valentine wants to be supportive. He's like, I'm here. Whatever you need me to do, I'm here for you. I will follow your lead. So whatever you want me to do, I got you. And meanwhile, Jenner is having his own moment because he's reliving and replaying how the family, was so negative towards him and basically shunned him out of the family. And so Valentine really like supports him, puts his hand and arm over him and says, you know what, it's going to be okay, which I thought was really sweet. So then it's next day. They're going out to meet for lunch, meet the sister, but beforehand they stop for coconuts. And if you guys have ever had fresh coconut water, it is so delicious. Not the like stuff you get in the glass or the the little paper coconut water, but like the fresh where the coconut's in front of you, they chop it up, boop, pop a straw in it. Ooh, it's delicious. It's so good, you guys. Oh my god. It's so good. So they stop for coconut water. And one of the things, because I get distracted easily, one of the things that I was like, you know what? I have a feeling that his family has known that he's gay this whole time, but hasn't said anything. I really do, because he's wearing these white shorts, this bandana around his neck, but then it was the black socks that got me, and the black socks with the rainbows on it. Did y'all peep that? I mean, what straight dude is gonna dress like that, really? Right? So I feel like his sister knew, and I think that's why his sister came in with such a shitty attitude. So we also learned some sad things. So Carlos's mom died 11 years ago, and his grandma died a year ago, and those two were the most important women in his life, and he was very close to them, and he loved them so, so very much. But one of the things he didn't do was come out to them, and he regrets not showing his true colors, and he wants to live his life with no more regrets. And you know how proud I am of him for coming to that realization? Like, yeah, life is too short to live with regrets all the time, and especially towards the people that you love the most, So you could tell, though, that he's dealing with some childhood trauma, right? So between that, the passing of his mom and his grandma, but also the bullying of his sister. So when he was younger, his sister used to tell him not to talk the way that he was talking because he was talking in a feminine voice and in a feminine way. And he has a lot of regret, and you can start to see where that repressed life is coming from. And so it's almost setting it up for what's about to happen in front of us. So no more regrets, though. No more regrets for Carlos. So sister comes, and she's not very friendly at all. She doesn't smile. She gives this half-ass hello to Valentine. And Valentine, is like, how are you doing? Good. And she sits down. Do you want something to drink? No. Just the energy. And then she was like, I'm here. Nothing to drink. Just looking at Valentine's side eye, looking at Carlos. And I was like, oh, she chose violence today. Like, she came in ready to fight. Like, who does that? You come to see your sibling. Wouldn't it be more like, hey, oh my God, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. Who's this? Like, I don't know. Regular people just be regular. She came in 100% with just the shittiest, rottenest, ugliest, meanest energy that I've seen in a while. And it was so bad, y'all, that it stood out to me. Facts, Mark. Carlos' sister looked like as if he excuse me, Carlos' sister looked as if she wanted to shank him when he broke the news to his sister. Well, I think like she just looked like she was ready for violence. And that could have been towards Valentine or Carlos. Like she just was coming in like she hated the world. And it did not look like there was any love lost between her and her brother. And that's unfortunate considering they've lost their mom and their grandma. We don't know where the dad is or what the dad does. But that's terrible. Oh, Mandy, you absolutely have to try it. It will change your life. It's nothing like the processed stuff. It's just not. So Carlos says, I don't know how you're going to take this. It's really hard for me to say. I'm really, just having a hard time. And there's this awkward pause and silence. The sister's not welcoming or like, using comforting body language to be like, hey, you can talk to me. I'm your sister or nothing. She's looking up there all like mean mugging. It was outrageous. Then she says, excuse me. And then he says, I'm gay. And she pinches her lips like she's ready to fight. So I don't think next week's going to go very well unless she has a 100% spiritual intervention, 360 degree of her attitude. Maybe she needs to get laid. I don't know. One of those three things. Pick and choose. Maybe all three of them. I don't think her attitude is going to change unless something changes in her mentality and in her vibe. Because she's all negative vibes right now. Next up, Daniele and Yohan. Daniele, can I just tell you to run? Can you just run? That gut instinct that you continue to talk about and mention episode after episode after episode, we're 8 episodes in and you still have doubts, that is your spirit speaking to you that something is wrong. And why rush? You only known this dude for 5 months. Why are we rushing to get married if you're having these major doubts? I don't understand it. And the part that is really curious to me, that again, I don't understand, Daniele, is the fact that you're so spiritual. You're in tune with your Sharpa and you do yoga. You did all these spiritual spells. You traveled with stones. You use sage. You do all the things that says you're in line with your God. And then your God is talking to you, screaming to you, don't do this. Don't do this. And you're still like, I don't know. It's weird, right? Do you guys think it's weird? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments if you're watching the replay. Geek Girl says, that's what I kept thinking. Why rush? What's the urgency? Plus, he totally switched it up. You met him. You wanted to move to the DR. All of a sudden, he's pressing you to move to America. If that's not a red flag, I don't know what is. And then I cannot imagine, you guys, someone saying to me the day before we're supposed to get married, well, if you're having doubts, don't get married then. Fool. Let's not get married then. How about that? If you're directly going to look me in my face and say, let's not get married then if you're having doubts, rather than to like talk through it and communicate and reassure each other, then yeah, let's not get married. How about that? Anyways. Yeah, it's been, 5 months. They've been together for 5 months. And I mean, how many of those months have been in real life, right? It's been a long distance relationship. Crystal says, but did we know she really wanted to move to the DR that bad? That was news to me. I think she mentioned it in the very first episode, right? And so she's just confirming what they've been talking about this whole time, is that she wanted to live. If you remember, Crystal, her opening scene in New York was living the rat life or the rat race, running the rat race. You guys know how I am with sayings, but whatever, you know what I mean. Running the rat race, and she wanted to slow it down because she's done that all her life. Her son is older, so she wanted to chill. If you remember that, that was totally part of her storyline. You did? Crystal says, this whole time I thought coming to New York was the plan. No, no, that was not the plan. But that's the plan now. Anyways, okay. First of all, I love that she speaks his language. I love it. If you can think in 90-day history who has actually attempted to speak the foreigner's language, I'll wait. You tell me one other cast member that literally didn't have to use a translator app or their phone and put an effort in. She's one of the first, and I applaud her. I really applaud her. So, anyways, they're supposed to get married in 3 days. She didn't sleep well. She's feeling uneasy. Ding, ding, ding. That's your spiritual guide, Danielle. They're about to go visit his family. His family's really pressuring him to move to the U.S., and that's what he wants to do too. And that was never the plan, right? So, the plan was for her to move to the Dominican Republic, and now she's nervous that he only wants to move to the US to get a job and send the money to his family, which is absolutely what he's telling her. He's literally saying that's exactly what he wants to do. He wants to get the F out of the Dominican Republic. He wants to come to America because that's the American dream. He thinks he's going to make a shitload of money in America and be able to support himself, live a lavish lifestyle, be a millionaire, and send and support all of his family members. And so Patrick. Oh, cheese stick. That's right. Cheese stick. Oh yeah, Chantel speaks un poquito español. I'm gonna have to take your word for that, Patrick and Tyus, because I've fallen off of this season of 90 Day Fiance because I could not handle it at all. Oh, hey, Scandalous. Okay, most of the Mormon 90 Day Fiance men speak a foreign language from their religious missions. Okay. Okay. So they're off to couples therapy. And one of the things that I enjoyed seeing, that it just showed you a little bit of the cultural differences, which I really want to see more of on, 90 Day Fiance. We see, the cultural differences in the people. But when we travel to the countries, it's like, show us the land. You guys have traveled all the way there. Show us some things. Like, I get it's about the people, but show us around a little bit. I want more of that. I want more of the culture. And so part of seeing where Yohan lived, which I thought was interesting, is the bucket baths. That's what I call them. And I've taken plenty of bucket baths as a Guinean myself. Immigrant families, you know what I'm talking about. So oftentimes, so he didn't have running water, right? So they had to go to a well and get the water from the well and bring it and shower or whatever. But oftentimes too, in developing countries, there is running water, but the water doesn't get hot enough. So then you have to like boil the water. And so you mix the running water with the boiling water so that you can just have like a hot enough shower. And so that you put it in the bucket and, you take your shower that way. And I got to tell you guys, it's not that bad. It's actually not that bad. We have in Ghana, and I'll show you maybe next time, like, it looks like netting and it's super long. And that's why, like, when you hear black don't crack, is because often a lot of us were exfoliating with this amazing netted washcloth that just takes off all the dirt, all the dead skin, and then you just have like beautiful, soft skin. Anyhow, so that all being said, they take a shower together. Thought it was interesting that they showed it because obviously it wasn't like a real shower because they still had their clothes on, which reminded me of the Big Ed days when Big Ed took that shower and then he was doing the most with the water. Ugh, I just had a total cringe hair stand up moment. Anyhow, I enjoyed that they shared that with everyone to just show some of the cultural differences. That being said, they go to the therapist. The therapist is like, "Why are you here?" And Danielle wants to make sure Yohan is marrying her for love and not just because he wants to come to the U.S. and make money and get a green card and you know use her for the green card. That's basically she wants to know. And she wants to make sure that it's not just him moving there, working, making money to help his family. And what does he say, you guys? I had to highlight it because I want you to think of every single Dominican Republic male that has been on the show. Yohan says, and these are exact words verbatim, every Dominican wants to go to the U.S. And when I thought of Molly's ex, I thought of Pedro, I thought of Alejandro, right? So he's basically telling you what he wants. Every Dominican wants to go to the U.S. Not, hey, I love this American woman. I will follow her wherever that takes me. If it takes me to the U.S., then I will be there. No, he says every Dominican wants to go to the U.S. That's it. Again, Danielle, he's telling you exactly who he is and exactly what he wants. Mandy says, is it similar to the Asian wash towels? I'm addicted to scrubbing with those. After using one, I realized I was never truly clean before. Yes, Mandy, it's similar but different. I'll show you guys. I'll show you guys tomorrow in News and Gossip. I'll bring one out. I think I have one close by, actually. Anyways, I'll bring one out tomorrow and I'll show you. They'll change your life, y'all. They'll change your life. Anyhow, back to every Dominican wants to go to the U.S. So the therapist is like, well, how important is it for you to go to the U.S.? Like, could you just marry Danielle, live happily ever after here in the Dominican Republic? 0 out of 10 rate it. He rates it a 20. So again, ding, 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 ding. I don't know how many ways he can tell you up and down, Danielle, that's his goal is to come to America and you're his ticket out. That's it. And that's why he's fighting you so hard about not living in the Dominican Republic, because he's like, I could literally be with any other Dominican person here. I finally found an American that hook, line, and sinker was here for it. And I only have to be with her for 5 months and I'll be able to go to America, which is my dream because every Dominican wants to go to the US. It's very concerning. It's very, very concerning. Danielle tries to explain to him, she's a teacher. She also has to have a side hustle. She's a wellness coach because it's expensive to live in US. And hello, it is expensive to live in the US. Expensive. If you were not already independently wealthy, if you haven't won the $1 billion mega millions that is tonight, maybe one of you guys is a billionaire right now if you bought one of the lotto tickets. If you don't have a job that has benefits and paid time off and all the things, it's not everything that people think it is. It's expensive. And she explains how, she makes it with her side hustle, but she's only having to support herself. And now she's going to have to support a whole other person until that guy, Yohan, can actually work? And can we even talk about the language barrier? Like, what's going to happen then? And, New York is very multicultural, and he will be fine. And, Brooklyn or the Bronx or anywhere, he'd be fine anywhere in New York. But because there's a huge Dominican population in New York City. However, like, that's something else he has to consider. He has to consider the language and the language barrier, not being able to work for at least the first 6 to 8 months. Danielle says the worst case scenario is that he comes to the US and all the money that he makes will go to his family. And she wants to make sure that the couple, the two of them, come first above and beyond all this extra stuff. Now, one of the things I do want to say is it's that it's very common for immigrants to send money back home. Children support their families back home all the time. I 100% understand that, and that is definitely an immigrant thing to do, and very commonplace, right? However, what I feel I'm seeing here is a little bit different. I'm feeling like this guy, right, just really wants to come to America. That's it. By any means necessary. So, Yohan mentions to the therapist how important it is for him to support his family. And then he mentions how just the other day he bought his parents a fridge because their old fridge broke down. And then I sat back, Danielle, and thought, so let me get this straight. He doesn't have 60 American dollars to pay for the rest of the deposit for his suit for his wedding that he's going to marry you to tomorrow. And he didn't pay the original deposit. You paid that. And you pay for every meal, every hotel stay, the car rental, the gas, the trips. But he has money for a fridge for his family, but he doesn't have money to be with you ever. And even on your most important day, getting married, he can't contribute even the $60. He can't contribute $60 to pick up his suit, his tux or whatever. How is that? How many red flags in the last 30 minutes, you guys, have I talked about? How many? Too many. It's red flags all across the board. Flag here, flag there, flag there. And oh, by the way, your gut is telling you you're feeling uneasy. Please make it make sense. Make it make sense, because if you want to be taken for a ride, fine, be taken for a ride. But don't turn around and complain about it because you had all the signs. What's that show, you guys, that I watch all the time that it's like super traumatic right now? These last few episodes have been super traumatic. Evil Lives Here. And the tagline is, but there had been signs, ... If you choose to ignore the signs, we can't help you. We can't help you, Danielle. You're choosing to ignore all the signs. All of them. The money signs, the using signs, the green card signs, all the things. Amanda said, I'm still not okay. Me, neither. Listen, if you guys watch that latest episode of Evil Lives Here, I'm totally going to go off on a tangent for 5 seconds. I won't wreck it for you, but it was the most traumatic one in all the seasons. I don't know how many seasons there have been. I've watched all of them. But I tell you this, I thought last week's episode was traumatic because last week's episode was the silent killer. This week's episode, because, I mean, that's not giving anything away because, Evil Lives Here. Someone dies in every episode. In this episode, you guys, oh, I don't even know what to tell you guys. I'm traumatized by that episode. That's how crazy it was. And you knew it was crazy when the mama was like just sitting there and you're like, what is happening right now? You just knew it. I was about to say something, but it would give some of it away. Listen, y'all. Woo! There had been signs, Danielle. Money signs, green card signs, insisting that you go to the United States. And the simple fact that he can look you in your face the day before your wedding and say, if you have doubts, then don't get married. Not, if you have doubts, don't marry me. Or if you have doubts, let's talk about it. If you have doubts, don't get married. Now, Danielle, you brought the bananas, the tree, the lotions and the potions. I'm just trying to understand why you're not heeding to all the warnings. Crystal says I can only watch that one in the daytime. Girl, talk to Amanda. Talk to Amanda. She watched it at night and she was up late that night. I was up late that night too, but she was up later than I. All right, so Danielle's also concerned about how many debts that he'll decide to take on if indeed they decide to move to America, because she's worried that he will take on all the family debts and then she's going to be the one that's paying all the bills, which is true, right? Because she's paying all the bills. And he's using his money to support his family. What up, Olivia? Olivia's in the chat. Holla. Olivia, you should be in every single chat because you are on this side of the pond. So there are no excuses, my friend. No excuses. Just joking. Welcome. Therapist says to them, listen, why are you rushing? It's been 5 months. Why don't you just continue to get to know each other as partners, as fiancés? There is no rush to scurry down the aisle. And that's my question too. What is the rush? Honestly, what is the rush? Because was it that you felt like you were so in love and everything was unicorn and rainbows? I can tell you what that is. And we all know what that is. I know that you guys are going to know what I'm saying before I even say it. But that was vacay penis. Vacay penis can make you crazy. It clouds your mind. And, you even talked about his baby leg and you said it in plenty of episodes. So you might have been digmatized. And when you get digmatized, your brain gets like a little foggy. And you can't really see the person for who they are and all the things that they're doing. So you're probably missing the red flags because like you just want to lay in bed all day and do the thing and do, right? So I'm just saying, like, yeah, 5 months of vacay penis is going to seem like you want to get married immediately. And guess what? Now reality is setting in, and reality is setting in like, hey, this fool ain't paying for shit. And he's insisting on moving to America because he wants to work and provide for his family. But he's not saying it's because he loves me and wants to be with me. And so what is the rush? What is the rush? Go ahead and take another year and get to know him and let him. How about this? I have the plan for you, Danielle. How about this? How about you take a year and just be engaged? You go back to New York, live your best life, have him come over on a little bit of a travel visa, stay for a week with you, see what New York is really about. Then you guys sit down and use your words and communicate and say, where do we really want to live? I was planning to move to the Dominican Republic. I understand that you want to come to America, but can you come to America without getting married to me? And would you? Ask the questions, use your words. Because, like I keep telling you guys, you have to have the conversation about children. Do you want children, yes or no? Religion, what do you believe? How do you believe it? How do you want to raise children if you do indeed want to have children? Sex, how important is it? How often do you want to have sex? How often do you need to have sex? Those all the questions before you get in a serious committed relationship, and most definitely before you get married. And finances, how do you make money? How do you spend money? How do you save money? How important is money in your day-to-day world? You have to have those conversations before you intertwine the rest of your life with someone who doesn't believe the same things as you. Like, stop it. Stop it. You're already resenting him. Let's look at Amber, who's completely in resentment and denial mode. And, don't get me started on Amber acting like she's fucking brand new and she didn't know what the process was. And she was just so, I kept telling you guys last week, she was so full of resentment that she was starting to hate her husband. But she knew what she was coming into when she came into it. They're driving to Santo Domingo. She has doubts. She has doubts. She has doubts. He's insisting on moving to the US, New York City specifically, even though they always talked about her moving to the Dominican Republic. So it's really throwing her off. She doesn't understand what the hell he's talking about. She is tired of the high cost of living in New York, doesn't think that he understands how very expensive it is to live in New York. And, they're not going to be able to have a savings. They're not going to be able to build a life. They're not going to be able to, have a semblance of a family, nor is he going to be able to send money back to his family like he thinks he's going to. They do their to camera, and she literally says, where are you going to find the money for you, your family, and this relationship? She starts crying. I felt totally, terribly sad for her, because she's starting to realize that she doesn't know if this relationship is based on love or if it's based on coming to America. Hey, Vanessa. Hey, girl. Hey. Amber and Daniel. Still fighting. Apologized in the morning for getting drunk and yelling at him, but things are obviously still a little bit tense with them. She's happy that he invited her to a Venezuelan barbecue with his softball buddies, and I thought that was the best thing ever. I thought that, listen, this Daniel character is really growing on me, you guys. He seems like he has his head on his shoulders, and he really loves his wife, and he really wants to make it work, and he's all about communicating, and Amber is the one that's like just the wild card here. And dare I say it, but 100% acting like Becky from the block. That's how she's acting to me. 100% entitled and 100% like, if I didn't know better, okay, you guys, if I didn't know better, I would say Amber, as of late, has been acting like the young version of Angela. Just thinking that she can talk any type of way to her immigrant husband, that she can run amok. She's drinking and yelling and disrespecting her relationship, cussing up and down, pointing the fingers, all the things. And I sit there and I'm like, why? Okay, Becky. Like, okay, Becky. That's it. So they get to the barbecue, and they had that plantain that I love. I mean, I don't know if any of you guys have had fried plantain. It's the most delicious. They had rib soup. And one of the things about Venezuelan meals, you're always going to have soup and meat. So they had a beef soup, a rib soup, fried plantains, all the things. And it looked delish. But we'll talk about Amber's response to that, by the way, in a minute. But Daniel talks about how relationships from different cultures tend to make it harder sometimes. And so he's hoping that spending time with the Venezuelans, Amber will understand what it's like to be an immigrant and what it's like for him, and just have a better understanding of what he's going through more, right? And so I thought that was genius of him. I really did, because again, he's really trying to not only make friends, but also include his wife, right? Which is separate than what Amber has been doing with her bestie and all her friends, separating herself from her husband, just drinking, 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 and partying, and resenting him. It's amazing to me the polar opposites that these two are. So Amber's like, "Oh, this is not what I expected." That's my eye. This is not what I expected. This is not a normal American barbecue. We don't have hot dogs and hamburgers here. Amber, did he say he was taking you to American barbecue, or did he say he was taking to a barbecue with his Venezuelan softball mates? So again, this whole it just drives me crazy, you guys. This whole entitled, like, it's not American. It's not American. But he didn't say it was American barbecue. He said it was a Venezuelan barbecue. So I don't understand what your problem is. Right? Like, I don't. I don't understand what your problem is. I don't. I don't. It's like this. It's like this. Can you imagine you're on holiday and you fly halfway across the world? And I'll just say that. I won't even name a place, but you travel halfway across the world. And oftentimes, and I mean this with no disrespect, you guys, but oftentimes there's some Americans who have not traveled a lot. So, I get that I get it, because many people have explained to me that you grow up, America is like the land of the free, the greatest country in the world, the greatest place on earth, woo doo woo doo woo, all the things, and then you travel across the world for the first time, and then you're looking for Target, you're looking for McDonald's, you're looking for Starbucks, and then have an attitude when they don't have those things, and then everything else looks gross to you, and it's just a really small-minded way, in my personal opinion, to look at the world. It's not just about America all the time. That's all I'm saying. Daniel explains a really beautiful story, but when they first met, they both couldn't speak each other's language, and Daniel taught himself to speak English. We know that already, and so they used the translator app on their phones. Asked by one of his friends, what was that first kiss was like, and one of the ladies made a joke, the phone and another phone, pretend this is a phone, and went like this. That's what the first kiss was, because they couldn't speak each other's language. I thought that was hilarious. Amber's feeling a bit out of sorts, but she's also realizing how Daniel must be feeling around her friends, and she should have cut him some slack and realized, hey, like, I get it. These are your friends, and those are my friends, and I wasn't giving you any benefit of the doubt. I wasn't giving you any wiggle room, and now I see how it must be hard for you, right? Not knowing the language, not knowing the people, not knowing the culture. And she goes on to say, she forgets that he can't work, not because he doesn't want to work. He can't work because he doesn't have his work permit yet. And one of the friends says, Amber, you just really have to have patience. And Amber's like, I don't know if I have patience. I don't know if I can get patience. And one of the friends is like, I've been married for 30 years and we rely on each other. We're partners in the good and the bad and the ugly. And that's what you have to remember. And I think, you guys, I've been saying this, and Daniel's been saying it this whole time. Like, We have to be partners in this. And Amber has not been treating him like a partner. Amber has been treating him like a burden. And that is what the issue is. So since the barbecue, Amber has a better understanding of immigrant life. And so Daniel really just wants to celebrate that and continue to move closer and realign with his wife. And so he's planning this romantic dinner, candlelight dinner. He made dinner. He set up a nice little table in the back with wine and all the such. He got her flowers, romantic evening. And he says to her, because he knows how to communicate, I want to make you feel good. I want to make sure that we're communicating. You are important to me. We have to learn how to continue to have better communication, he says. I know we fight because we love each other and it's the passion, but we really have to get back to the basics and get back to loving on one another. And Amber's like, yeah, I forgot who we used to be. I was just so stressed out by the finances and stressed out. Last week, Amber, you said you didn't know what was up. You didn't know that you would have to support him. Remember that? You said that when you were drunk ass. So I'm glad you're coming to your senses. Daniel reveals that he got his work permit. So it was also a celebration of that. Congratulations. And again, he's like, I'm so excited because now we can be a team. Now we can support each other in our goals. We can work together towards our dreams. All the things that a person that knows how to communicate and knows the value of a relationship says. He said all those things. And if anything, I would hope that Amber realizes what a good guy she has and starts to think of them as a couple rather than her selfish as an individual. He's also put roses on the bed, petals, the typical heart thing. And they're going to have some sexy time. And he can't wait to the day where they don't have to have a roommate and a sister, but they will always have the cats. And so he can't wait to they hang out in the bed with the cats. And that's all I'll say about that, because you guys know how I feel about cats, and you know how I feel about outside clothes on the bed. So it was all like a whole, I was having a moment, y'all. You're just outside. She just came from work. So and she works in the service industry, and she's not going to like shower and put on like inside clothes. She's just going to take all that yuckiness and plop on the bed. And then you're going to have all the 4 cats. Oh, stop it. Just no, thank you. No, thank you very much. Not a lot to say about Sherlon and Ariana, because I just, we already know the outcome of these two. But, what we do know is that Sherlon's mom took Ariana's side in this debate about how Sherlon treats her, right? But since then, Ariana feels that Sherlon's been a lot more sensitive and communicative. And I was like, well, that was just 2 days ago. I know you're not telling me he did a full-on 360 in 2 days. I know that's not what you're saying. But that is what she's saying. So Mama Karen is babysitting while they have a date night. First time in a year. And he takes her back to the original place that they met, where they hooked up, right? So they met because Sherlon's dad owns a boat company. And after they went on the boat tour, they all met up at the bar. Sparks flew, he said. And from there, a baby was made. So he decides that he's going to take us back to where the sparks flew. And he also realizes he's been a jerk towards his baby mama. And so he wants to bring back the spark. Now they're sitting there, and here's the thing. Here is the thing. Okay, sorry, I got a scandalous love you. Love you. But I have to say this. Scandalous says, no glove, no love, Sherlon. She's going to entrap you with Odin 2.0. And I'm going to say, Scandalous, that it takes two people to have sex. Two grown-ass adults are having sex, so both of them can bring contraception to the table. Okay? No one can entrap Sherlon if Sherlon brings his grown-ass penis with a condom. You see what I'm saying? You can't get entrapped if you come prepared. Hello. That being said, this little romantic date was a bit weird to me. Okay, it was a bit weird to me, and I'm going to tell you why. Okay, so you bring her back to the place that you first met and made love, right? But when you talk to her, you don't talk to her very romantic. You talk to her like this. It was your destiny, brah. You look good, brah. What's up, brah? Yeah, I was checking you out, brah. Definitely checking you out. Oh, and you were checking me out when I was going up on that ladder and I had a wedgie? Yeah, brah. Yeah, brah. I definitely noticed that, brah. What? Who calls their love interest bro? Like who? Who does that? What up, bro? Sup, bro? You look sexy as fuck, bro. Like, no. So the moment to me was lost because he kept saying that, and I was like, I just don't find this romantic. And what else I did not find romantic, and again, maybe it's just me, but he says to her, your pretty little face, your thunder thighs, and your fat ass booty. Sherlon, you're closer to 40 than you are to 20. Explain to me how any part of that, besides pretty face, maybe, is a compliment. Can someone explain to me? Because I don't see it. So between calling someone a bro, thunder thighs, fat ass booty, like first, how old are you? And what is that? What kind of compliment is that? I just don't. Rah. Vanessa says, yeah, any dude who calls you bruh, bro, or dude, etc., thinks of you as one of the boys. Those are facts. And there had been signs. Anyways, apparently they're flirting back and forth. Ariana's acting like very like, oh my God, I can't believe this is just so romantic. She's like all giggly and giddy. Meanwhile, he says that, in Jamaica they have an old saying, and the saying is old fire sticks are easy to light. And then he does this, you guys, no joke. No joke whatsoever. He does this. I was like, I'm done. So between calling your woman baby mama bruh, calling her fat ass, calling her thunder thighs, and now you're making lion motions and sounds towards her. That's it. I couldn't have said it better, Crystal. Throw the whole man away. Go ahead, Sherlon. You belong to the streets. You belong to the swingers club that you work at. You belong to any of that stuff. Anything that's just not here. Bye. Hey, Benjamin. It's been a while. Benjamin says it's hard to watch how terrible Sherlon has been treating her so far this season. Just nah. This part. Just throw the whole man away. Bye. Anyways, y'all, happy Friday. Thank you so much for joining me. I always forget, make sure to like and subscribe. If you are into Seeking Sister Wife, I have some juicy news that I just dropped today, so go check that out on the channel. And for my Patreon subscribers, I will see you guys tomorrow for news and gossip. Everyone else, I'll see you soon. Bye for now.